Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top five are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top five. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number one would be Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Number two would be Baywatch. Number three would be Alien Covenant. Number four would be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And number five would be Everything, Everything. And surprisingly, I only got 2 out of 5 this week. Now, normally a 2 out of 5 is about my average, but this weekend it actually caught me a little off guard. So let's go over what happened. And no, this is not the Memorial Day 4-day weekend. We're sticking with 3-day weekends. So let's get through this. Number one was, of course, Dead Men Tell No Tales. This was kind of obvious because all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies do extremely well. This movie made $62 million on its opening weekend. Now, some people might think of this as a big concern because 2, 3, and 4 made huge money, and the first one made only around 40 million, and this kind of falls right in line in between the first movie's 40 million and the fourth movie's 90 million. Still, $62 million isn't that bad of an opening because on the worldwide chart, it is currently at $270 million in total, which has already passed its budget of 230 million. They just need to get to 460 to be considered a success, and they pretty much will because all these Pirates movies do well, and it has to do well because they need to make that sixth movie. And I actually did see this movie a couple days ago. I still need to make my review, but I will give you a hint. I am a fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean series. That might give you an idea of what I thought about this movie. So moving on to number 2, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You might be wondering, Jackson, where's that other movie? Well, we'll get to that one. It made $19 million this weekend. That adds to a domestic total of $333 million, and on the worldwide chart is at $783 million. I'm thinking at the pace that it's at, it might be able to get to $1 billion before it leaves the top 10. Maybe, I'm not so sure as of yet. It might just stop at around 900 million, but this is still great for Guardians. But number 3 is the movie I thought was going to be number 2. I thought for sure, but it wasn't. It was Baywatch this weekend. It made $18 million, and it opened up on special Thursday screeners, so that adds to a total of $22 million. Now, some people might be surprised by this because it's a rated R comedy, and it has The Rock in it and Zac Efron. This was supposed to be a big hit because all of The Rock's movies are hits nowadays, but not really. And if you look at the budget, it is sitting at $69 million, so it needs to get 138 to be considered a success, and this is not a good starter for it. They will be opening up worldwide very soon, so that should probably boost it up. But this is probably like The Rock's first big bomb since The Rock has been great pretty much. But this is honestly really surprising. I thought for sure it was going to get number 2, and I thought for sure that number 4 was going to be at least below Baywatch, but it wasn't, that being Alien Covenant, which made $10 million this week, and it had a huge drop from $36 million to just $10 million. This movie's going to leave the top 10 very soon, I bet you. That adds to a domestic total of $57 million, however, and on the worldwide chart it is at $143 million. Now, it needs to get to 194 to be considered a success and make another Alien movie that's tied in with Prometheus that needs to get to at least $51 million more in order to do so. Hopefully, maybe they'll be able to do that and improve upon Alien Covenant, because honestly, I can see why people aren't going out to see this movie, because it's not that great, honestly. The more I think about this movie, the less I like it, so I can understand where some people might be coming from. I'm not that upset about this movie not doing as well, but, it would help if they made another Alien movie that was actually as great as Alien, Aliens, and Prometheus, but whatever. Number 5, I did get right. Everything, Everything, making $6 million, adding to a domestic total of $21 million, which is pretty good. It doubled its budget of $10 million, and it was able to get $1 million more, and it still has at least 2 more weeks of being in here. So yeah, good for this movie that I haven't seen and have no interest to see. Number 6 is a movie I also have no interest to see, but I might have to see it very soon because it's kind of important. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. It made $4 million this weekend, and that adds to a domestic total of $13 million, and its budget is $22 million. It needs to double that to get to $44 million and be considered a success. It hasn't really opened in other worldwide territories. It's only 2 other places so far on the Box Office Mojo chart, and it only made in the 100,000 area, so that's not very good. This might be the first Wimpy Kid movie to actually bomb, and we won't get any more with this new cast. That would be frickin' sweet, actually. I wouldn't have to talk about or think about these Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies anymore. Number 7 is Snatched. It made $3.9 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $40 million. It's $2 million away from that budget, but it still needs to double it and get to 84 to be considered a success. And on the worldwide chart, it did get over that budget, but it's not very big. It's at 47 million right now. So yeah, this movie, I'm not sure how long Amy Schumer's movie career is going to last, considering that Trainwreck did really well, but Snatched not so much. I don't know. It just really depends. I'm sure her stand-up will do well, even though people didn't like that Netflix thing she did. But moving on to number 8, which is also a trash movie, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, which made $3.2 million this weekend, still continuing to bomb for famous Guy Ritchie, whose last movie, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., also was a big bomb. It has a total of $33 million, and on the worldwide chart, it was able to get past $100 million. It's sitting at $119 million worldwide, but that's not enough to cover that $175 million budget, especially if you double it, and it's not going to happen. We're not getting any more Guy Ritchie King Arthur movies. Thank God. Please, Guy Ritchie, don't screw up Aladdin next. Moving on to number 9, which is The Boss Baby, which made $1.7 million. That adds to a domestic total of $168 million. And on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $470 million. And apparently, to DreamWorks, this is a large enough profit to warrant a sequel to The Boss Baby. That's right. Recently, it was announced that in 2021, there will be a Boss Baby 2. I fear for my life. And finally, at number 10, it's not The Fate of the Furious, it's Beauty and the Beast. It made $1.5 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $500 million. It finally made it right before it's about to leave the top 10. I'm so happy with this, and on the worldwide chart is at $1.232 billion. And still, Fate of the Furious is like at least 10 million behind Beauty and the Beast worldwide wise. That is so incredible for this movie, and I'm so happy that I get to give it a proper send-off here on Box Office Talk. This is a huge success for Disney, but of course this was kind of expected, but I didn't expect it to be this huge. I hope that Disney doesn't screw up later on, because this movie was actually pretty good, and I'm glad that it made this much money. And now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. Now, obviously, my number 1 is going to be Wonder Woman. That's just duh. But number 2, I'm going to make a wild prediction here, but I'm going to say number 2 will be Captain Underpants. I think because it is Captain Underpants based off the books, and because it's DreamWorks, it will make a lot of money. Then number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And number 5, Baywatch. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave it in the comments below. And if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then I'm sorry. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.